Hey, Sir Fix-a-Lot here. I've got a BMW key out of a 2004 330i. This type of key is similar to ones that are made in the late 90s as well as the early part of the 2000s. And normally you have to buy a key, a complete key, if this one fails. The failure or the situation that I have with my 2004 BMW is almost 10 years old. The distance in which I can unlock and lock the car is becoming shorter and shorter. I basically have to stand right next to the car in order to unlock it or lock it. So I know that the battery itself is not recharging as well. It actually recharges when you have it in the ignition, but it's not charging as well as it used to. So I'm going to attempt to replace the battery with this lithium-ion battery, CR2016. It's a brand new one. It's not rechargeable per se, but it should last you 5, 6, 7 years or something like that. So I'm going to show you how to open this up, take the old battery out, and then put in this new battery. You're going to need a little bit of heat. This is a soldering gun in order to disconnect the old battery because it's actually soldered on to contacts within here. I've got a little bit extra solder here, but I don't think I'm going to need it. I should be able to use what's already existing on the contacts. In order to open these up, you have to use a utility knife or an X-Acto knife down the seam, and then it will open up. And then to put it back together, you'll want to use glue. This is a little bit strong, but you just want to use some household glue so that if you need to replace the battery in the future, you can just open it up real easily and then glue it back together again. And if if some of these functions are not working at all, that means the circuit within may be bad, and a battery is not going to help. You may have to buy a brand new key from the BMW dealer, which is somewhere in the range of about $180 or something like that. But I know mine is more of a weak battery because, again, the distance to open or unlock and lock the car is becoming a lot shorter. I have to basically be right next to it. I can't be 30 feet away anymore. Okay, we are cutting down the seam here essentially, and so you have to just constantly cut until you break the glue seam on it. Taking a small screwdriver, placing it under here, and then popping it open like this. So that's the unit here. Again, when it was assembled, they just put a light amount of glue and then closed it down. So on this side you can see that there's a well for the battery itself. You have the circuit board, and on the other side there's the battery. So you have to remove this battery, but what has happened is it's soldered on at a couple points here, here, and right here. So we're going to put a little heat to it here, here, and here, and that should release the battery. The actual location where you want to put the heat is just at the contacts here, and then you work it with a small screwdriver underneath the backside here and kind of pry it up so that this part comes up like this. Underneath, it's the same thing. There's a contact on the backside, and so you want to keep the orientation for positive, negative the same, and then when you replace this battery with this one here, keep the positive and negative the same, and then straighten out the contacts and then reattach. Backside first, and then this top side here. So there's no real need to glue in the battery like it was before. You can just basically place that battery within the unit itself, position it so that it settles into the right spot, and then glue the top piece back on. Before you do that, before you glue this piece down like this, you can test it just to make sure that the unit can open and close or lock and unlock your car. That's all there is to it.